Korah and his horde, punished by Ginzberg. God did not gainsay satisfaction of his faithful servant. The mouth of hell approached the spot upon which Dathan, Abiram, and their families stood, 581, and the ground under their feet grew so precipitous that they were not able to stand upright, but rolled to the opening and went quickly into the pit. Not these wicked people alone were swallowed by the earth, but their possessions also. Even their linen that was the launderer's or a pin belonging to them rolled toward the mouth of the earth and vanished therein. 582 nowhere upon earth remained a trace of them, or of their possessions, and even their names disappeared from the documents upon which they were written. 583 they did not, however, meet an immediate death, but sank gradually into the earth, the opening of which adjusted itself to the girth of each individual. The lower extremities disappeared first, then the opening widened, and the abdomen followed, until in this way the entire body was swallowed. While they were sinking thus slowly and painfully, they continued to cry, "Moses is truth and his Torah is truth. We acknowledge that Moses is rightful king and true prophet, that Aaron is legitimate high priest, and that the Torah has been given by God. Now deliver us, O our teacher Moses." These words were audible throughout the entire camp, so that all might be convinced of the wickedness of Korah's undertaking. 584. Without regard to these followers of Korah, who were swallowed up by the earth, the 250 men who had offered incense with Aaron found their death in the heavenly fire that came down upon their offering and consumed them. But he who met with the most terrible form of death was Korah. Consumed at the incense offering, he then rolled in the shape of a ball of fire to the opening in the earth, and vanished. There was a reason for this double punishment of Korah. Had he received punishment by burning alone, then those who had been swallowed by the earth, and who had failed to see Korah smitten by the same punishment, would have complained about God's injustice, saying, "It was Korah who plunged us into destruction, yet he himself escaped it." Had he, on the other hand, been swallowed by the earth without meeting death by fire, then those whom the fire had consumed would have complained about God's injustice that permitted the author of their destruction to go unpunished. Now, however, both those who perished by fire and those who were swallowed up by the earth witnessed their leaders share their punishment. 585. This terrible death did not, however, suffice to atone for the sins of Korah and his company, for their punishment continues in hell. They are tortured in hell, and at the end of 30 days, hell again casts them up near to the surface of the earth, on the spot where they had been swallowed. Whosoever on that day puts his ear to the ground upon that spot hears the cry, "Moses is truth, and his Torah is truth, but we are liars." Not until after the resurrection will their punishment cease, for even in spite of their grave sin, they were not given over to eternal damnation. For a time Korah and his company believed that they should never know relief from these tortures of hell, but Hannah's words encouraged them not to despair. In reference to them, she announced the prophecy, "The Lord bringeth low to Sheol and lifteth up." At first they had no real faith in this prophecy, but when God destroyed the temple and sank its portals deep into the earth until they reached hell, Korah and his company clung to the portals, saying, "If these portals return again upward, then through them shall we also return upward." God hereupon appointed them as keepers of these portals, over which they will have to stand guard until they return to the upper world. 586.